But first, we want to get right to the breakdown of that new track from the National Weather Service.
Let's send it over to Dennis. And Dennis, is Dorian's path becoming any more clear tonight?
You know, guys, I have 2 minutes to talk about this. I could take 2 hours because it's literally been that wild of a ride over the last 24 hours. And I know how difficult it is for you at home because, you know, you hear the information that's out there. It's all on social media, and it's hard to pick and choose what you need to know to help make those important plans for your family. So when we go through the next couple of minutes, I want to focus on the key things that I think you need to keep in the back of your mind. We're at 85-mile-an-hour winds. It's getting stronger. Extremely high likelihood that this ends up becoming a major hurricane, maybe even Category 4. Now, here is the new track. It's a little bit to the south and a little bit slower of our earlier track at 11 o'clock. And the reason is, and I'm sure a lot of you may have seen this, and I'll show it to you in a minute, the European model, which does, as do all models, we call it the windshield wiper effect. One model will go this way, 12 hours it goes this way, it goes back, and it kind of reaches an equilibrium in the middle, and that's usually where we end up seeing where these storms ends up going. So this path doesn't look very different than what we were looking at 11 o'clock. But I can assure you the European path is completely different. And again, I will show you that. And the reason we talk a lot about the Euro is that historically it's the most accurate model on Earth, especially with tropical systems. So a lot of times the Hurricane Center, as do I personally, lean on that model to try to have a good idea of where these are going. At this point in time, and we said this yesterday, we still don't know. I mean, that's pretty obvious, right? And we're not going to know until a better chance by later tomorrow afternoon or tomorrow night. Again, we'll be talking more about this, and I'll be doing a live broadcast on our streaming site at 7 o'clock, and we'll be on there for as long as you need us to answer those questions. Now, I'm going to show you the Euro here. This is why a lot of people started to get very nervous in South Florida, because it slowed everything down. This is Sunday, but remember, the Hurricane Center's track goes like this. Look where the Euro takes it. Down near Miami and then straight up the east coast of Florida, kind of like Matthew a couple of years ago. And if that's the case, obviously the heaviest winds would be on the east coast. So if this track were to verify, and I tell you it's probably unlikely, if it were, the impacts in the Bay Area would be slim. It would be mostly an East Coast system, and a terrible one at that, because going right up the East Coast with probably 80 to 110 mile-an-hour winds, especially if the center stayed just offshore. It also means the heaviest rain would be over there as well. But the reason we're not ready to write off on that is because a lot of models still put the entire southern half of the state in play. Again, the new data is just coming in. I'm going to check it out for you, and I'll have more coming up in a couple of minutes.